I really like what a lot of these vloggers are talking about, but I'm getting old. As you can see, my beard getting gray. I'm 40 right now as of this recording, but I've done a lot of conventions, I've done a lot of artist alleys, and I've been selling at Zen Monkey Studios since 2012. So it's 2015. This July will make it 13 years old. That is a lot of experience that a lot of the vloggers don't have. It sounds like a lot of vloggers have been doing this since the pandemic or right after the pandemic. And things have changed a lot since then. One of the things that I haven't noticed many people talk about, except for a couple, is the cost of goods. Now, if you go and sell at Artist Alley, I need you to think of a few things, such as how much the booth cost, how much commute cost to get there, how much is your hotel or the Airbnb, how much is the gas, how much is it to eat there, how much is it to just be there in general. But now you got to figure out how much does it cost to manufacture your product that you're going to be selling. I want to know how much that really is after 3 days of work, getting there, printing, manufacturing, the cost, the complete cost, because that determines if what they're doing is right for them or if what they are doing is not adding up. And it's going to be a process. It's going to take some time for you people, and that's okay. But I understand time is money. There's only a finite amount of time left in our lives and our days in our lives to do stuff. So is it worth your time and your prime to go to conventions and make $500? Especially if you think that is good and successful, and then you don't understand why you can't hardly pay rent or you can't eat anything but cup of noodles every weekday. Now, that is actually something that we did not do great on the first year or two. And I've seen some people doing the similar things that we did, like keep track of accounting in like a little sketch pad would be like a sticker sold, another sticker sold, another sticker sold. First of all, you do need to keep track of that to see what is selling and what's not. But it's the bigger you get, you're gonna need to make this the process easier. So it might be printing out a whole spreadsheet of everything that you're bringing rather than write it when it happens. Or it might mean you might need to get like a barcode system, or you need a system that you implement into something like Square or PayPal. So you just type in the product name in there while you're setting up the order so that it keeps track of it cleaner and faster. You got to factor all those things in when you sell your product. Now, we would consider, I would say our first show was anime, our first real show that wasn't in a basement or like in a football field at a middle school was Anime Boston in 2013. And we probably made about $4,500. But the booth cost $1,200, the hotel cost $1,500, and I was selling T-shirts at the time. So the T-shirts, if we had 100 T-shirts, they cost about $7.50 back then each, $8 maybe. Let's just say $7.50 times 100 shirts, $750. Let's say we brought 200 shirts because we were hopeful. That's $1,500 that we spent. Let's just say 100 shirts sold at $15, you make $1,500. Exactly what we spent to manufacture it. So we spent all that time to get there, to do this, to do that. And if we sell 100 shirts at $15 each, but we bought 200 shirts, then it cost us $7.50 each. Anyway, we broke even in the shirts. Now we got to factor in the posters. And we didn't do stickers back then. And the other things, and pins came a few years later, so you got to wait for the pins. When you factor it all down, yes, we did make a profit, and that's also a good thing. But is it really worth going to Boston, stressing out, will anyone buy our stuff, and invest in all these things to make $500 in 3 days? That's less than $200 a day when you're working like 10-hour days. And that's not including the setup day, which is Thursday usually. So Thursday, you drive in the morning, or even Wednesday, you drive in, you sleep in your hotel room, which is 200 a night, 175 a night, 150 a night. Then you get to the convention, you unload, and you got to try and do it a certain amount of time. Depends how detailed your booth is. If you're an artist alley, you got a table and a little bit of space, and you got to be clever with your space. But we went straight to booth, so we had 10 feet by 10 feet, 100 square feet to work with, and it takes time. It takes time to even just put a little thing on a table. But we had shirts, and we had grid walls to put up, and we had to put the shirts on display. We had to put the pricing on everything, and even back then, that would take half a day or the day. Now, like what you see when you visit us at New York Comic Con, that takes over 2 days. So is me work us driving Wednesday to spend the night, get there Thursday morning, right, like at 9, 10 a.m., work from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then wake up Friday. You're working from Friday at 10 or 11 a.m. to 7, Saturday 10 a.m. to 7, Sunday 10 a.m. to 5, because now you got to dismantle everything, throw it in your suitcase, or in a trunk or something in a car, or if you're going by a train or by plane, you got to get to the train or the plane and not miss it. And is that worth $500 profit? And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it's really worth it. It's good for experience. It's good to build the brand. But how long are you willing to wait and take for you to build your brand to get to a certain point so that you can live off of Comic Con money? Now, there's some people that are making, you know, $10,000 right out of the gate, $15,000, and that's very good. Um, when I did Artist Alley, I never made that kind of money. But I also am saying that is not the norm. Like you might get $1,500. You might get $1,000. You might get under $1,000 for 3 days of work. And you need to say to yourself, I'm willing to wait for this to grow. At the same time, if you're doing this for years and years and you don't see any growth, it's okay to pivot and say, this isn't working. I don't want to do this my entire life. And I'm ready to move on to the next thing. And I think that's my first lesson that I'm willing to share to you guys is I need you to figure out everything that it takes for you to be at a Comic Con or an anime show or just a trade show in general and say, I need to make X amount of money, but I need you to factor in not only the commute and the booth and the display, but also the cost of goods, because it seems like many people forget about the cost of goods. We did too. And once we figured out that we were forgetting to include the cost of goods into our revenue, things changed dramatically for us and it helped us. So if you do that right away, it will help you.